Hi, my name is Brianna Donofrio,
And I'm Natalie Watson.
and we did our project on the Irish folklorist Angela Bourke.
Bourke was born in 1952 in Dublin, Ireland, where she grew up and continues to live. Bourke received her education at University College Dublin with an MA in Celtic Studies. She is currently a professor of Irish Language Studies and the head of Modern Irish at the University College Dublin. Bourke travels as a guest speaker to different universities around the world to educate students of Irish folklore studies. In the many works of Angela Bourke, she focuses on women in history and women in folklore. Bourke has won multiple awards, including the Times Literature Prize for Nonfiction for her book titled The Burning of Bridget Cleary, A True Story. She also won the Frank O'Connor Award for Short Fiction in 1992.
Angela Bourke is known for many pieces of writing in Irish literature. Bourke is famous for her nonfiction work, The Burning of Bridget Cleary, A True Story, as well as short stories and articles that commentate on the Irish Keating tradition, historical tales of fairies, and other Irish folklore topics. In this presentation, we will examine in depth Bourke's view on fairies based upon The Burning of Bridget Cleary, The Baby in the Bathwater, and Tudor Ballanstano's article entitled Otherworldly Women and Neurotic Fairies, the Cultural Construction of Women in Angela Bourke's Writing. We will analyze Bourke's views on gender and society norms based on these readings.
In The Baby in the Bathwater, Angela Bourke recounts a story that remains a legend to this day told by John Henry. This is how the legend holds according to Bourke. 3 fishermen were out to sea, and one fisherman pulled up what he thought was a fish, but to his dismay was a live baby. A woman came out of the water and ordered the fisherman to hand her the baby, so without hesitation the fisherman threw the baby back into the water. Angela reflects and shares her beliefs about the real meaning behind the legend. She says the baby represents all that society has chosen to forget, as well as representing the dangers of the sea. The story portrays the distinct areas of life, such as responsibilities and capabilities, expected of men and women in traditional society. The story communicates to listeners the apprehension society has when the roles of men and women blend together. On page 91, Bourke writes, "Its disturbing and unforgettable central image also holds out the intriguing possibility that the baby thrown out with the 19th century bathwater may still be swimming not far away." This is a powerful quote demonstrating Bourke's opinion about gender norms relating to the legend.
In addition to The Baby in the Bathwater, The Burning of Bridget Cleary demonstrates further themes shared in Angela Bourke's writing. Bridget Cleary was married to a wealthy man named Michael Cleary. One day, Bridget Cleary got sick, and her husband believed she was stolen by the fairies. It wasn't too long after that Michael burned Bridget Cleary to death. Michael Cleary was sentenced to jail for 20 years for manslaughter. People were fascinated by the story and were quick to believe Cleary was a changeling. Since Cleary had no children and women who were abducted by fairies were known to be infertile, it was more believable that Cleary was indeed a changeling. However, Bourke believes that Cleary was burned to death due to her stepping outside of societal norms. On page 136, Bourke writes that Bridget Cleary had accumulated power, both economic and sexual, it seems, far in excess of what was due to a woman of her age and class, and when the balance tipped, all the anger flowed towards her. Bourke also wrote on page 86 in The Burning of Bridget Cleary that Bridget Cleary was an attractive and strong-minded woman who enjoyed a higher level of personal and economic independence than most of her peers. Michael Cleary's success would be of very little use to him if he could not convince his neighbors and his wise relatives that he was man enough to keep her and even to control her.
The last 2 quotes simply portray Angela Bourke's views on gender expectations in society, which she also talks about in The Baby in the Bathwater. On page 87, she writes, "Fairies could be used in a variety of ways, as cautions to children or adults against departures from society's norms, as euphemisms for anything from tuberculosis to drunkenness, to marital infidelity, or simply as entertainment."
Ballanstano's book, Otherworldly Women and Neurotic Fairies, deeply explores exactly what the latter of the title states, the cultural construction of women in Angela Bourke's writing. In this presentation, we focused on The Baby in the Bathwater and The Burning of Bridget Cleary. Ballanstano goes further to delve into even more of Bourke's writings that concentrate on relationships among society, nature, masculine dominance and abuse, and gender. We can easily see these common themes in Angela Bourke's writing as they were prominent in our focuses in the video. Making this video was an interesting process for the both of us. We approached this task by reading all the material that was given to us, and also going to the library to find more sources. Next, we need to choose which topics we want to focus on, since Angela Bourke covers a wide variety to choose from. It was difficult to decide between the areas of Keating and fairies, but we chose to talk more about fairies because it interested us. We each contributed equally to the video. We wrote the script together, made the video, and each read a handful of articles and books, some the same and some different.
Our number one challenge was making the video, since neither of us had done a video project before. It was also a challenge to narrow down the topics to be covered for the profile of Angela Bourke. Making this video was useful because it taught us how to use technology in a meaningful way. We also learned a lot about Irish folklore, specifically about fairies and the tradition of keening along the way. Thank you for listening.